Hey, true believers, Chris Mack coming at you with an action figure that I have been waiting impatiently to come out. And now we finally have it in hand. Today we're going over the Marvel Legends X-Men Bonebreaker Build-A-Figure Wave Siryn. And she's always been one of my favorite characters. I loved how she was both on X-Force and X-Factor. You can see her here in the window, and I love that they use the old school X-Men logo here. You get the Bonebreaker Build-A-Figure tag up there, the Varnish X spot up there, which looks nice. The artist rendition, I kind of wish that they would have went with the old school X-Force look, but nonetheless, this design, I like it. I think it looks good, especially when you get the full design of it here on the back. There's a read-up. I'll get a close-up so you can check that out at your convenience. Same with the figures from the wave. Come around this side, same artist rendition there. Nothing on the bottom. So with that said, let's get this awesome figure out of the packaging and get a closer look at her. Here's Theresa Cassidy out of the packaging. And as you can see, once you get her out, posing her, absolutely gorgeous figure. You get that cape starting to ruffle in the wind, you get her up on a flight stand, and it just feels like you're right at home with this figure. However, I know, with that said, there are going to be a lot of things that you love with this figure, and a few things that are really going to drive you up the wall and frost you. So let's get her off the stand and let's talk about those things. Theresa Maeve Rook Cassidy was created by Chris Claremont and Steve Leola and first appeared in Spider-Woman number 37 from April 1981. Unknown to Banshee, her father, Theresa was raised by Banshee's cousin, the villain Black Tom Cassidy, to be his criminal apprentice. Siryn possesses an identical sonic scream like her father that can incapacitate and injure an opponent's hearing or send powerful vibrations through the air, which enables her to fly. She does eventually break away from Black Tom and joins Cable's X-Force, and she left tragically. And I gotta find this issue because it sounds horrific. But what happens is her vocal cords are severed by her teammate turned villain, Feral. Now, kind of going back a little ways, this uniform, its first appearance, from what I gather, was X-Force number 19. Boom Boom created a whole new set of outfits for her teammates, and this was the one that was designed for Siryn. Now, she does eventually leave X-Force and turns over to X-Factor and has an interesting relationship with Jamie Madrox. And speaking of, she has a somewhat romantic involvement with Deadpool. That's news to me. I'd never seen that before. If you guys have some recommended reading on that, let me know down in the comments. Now, with that said, the only accessories that Siryn comes with is she comes with the, so you call it punchy hands. Yeah, punchy hands. I like that. Is the closed fist hands, which look good for flying. And then she also comes with, watch, I'm going to set her down. She's going to fall. Yep, that's all right. These kind of open gripped hands, which I think are very well sculpted because you can actually see the way the veins and the, what do you call that? The autonomy? No, y'all know what I'm trying to say. But the way that hand movements actually work under gloves, they look great. So, if you have a different idea of her screaming, which kind of brings me into why did they not give her a screaming head? It just drives me nuts. But yeah, the hands look good. And speaking of head sculpts, I do like this one. It perfectly captures Siryn. Her green eyes look amazing. The bright red-orange hair looks great. Eyebrows look the way they should. The flesh tone, spot on. Red lipstick looks nice. But the thing is, okay, they're going to give us these hands to make her look like, she's going, Rawr! So in doing that, why did they not give us an extra head of her screaming and we just get one somber head? So for people like me that like to photograph their action figures, we're SOL and we're going to have to get creative on how to make a screaming head sculpt, or hope some modifier online sells a screaming head sculpt, because who knows if we'll ever get a release of that. The uniform, I like the yellows and the greens, just really jives together with this figure, especially with that red hair. For whatever reason, these two color palettes look great. Love that X on the chest. like the lines, you know, moving down from her neck into the yellow. Just leads the eye out down the entire, what do you call it, figure. You know, she kind of has the same feet that Boom Boom has, where she kind of has that wrap, and then of course the flat foot. And check this out, guys. Pinless technology. That's why I complain so much about when we get these newer figures or exclusives and we see the pinholes, and it's like, what were you thinking, guys? You have this new set where these figures look great, and yet we're still seeing pins. So just to see this on Siryn is very much a welcome breath of fresh air. The cape, I love that it's cloth instead of one of those big, ugly, frumpy plastic ones that come with other figures. I do wish, since Hasbro's on this kick about saving plastic, I feel like it would behoove them to continue with the cloth route and then put wires in it like Mafex and all that stuff. Now, if that drives the price up a little bit, I'm okay with that. Because the one thing about this cape that kind of bugs me is you can take it, when you pop her hand out, this comes out and it's free, but up here, it's folded into her arm socket and you can't take it out unless you're like a really good at modding figures. Unlike the McFarlane figures where you can pop their arms out like Build-A-Figures and stuff, that will not happen. This will bust. So unless you're really good at modding, I would not suggest it. And it's also, I thought it was affixed to her back. It might be. But anyway, that's probably my only beef with the cape, is how it's stuck. But there's a silver lining to that, is with it being tucked in like that and then attaching it to her arms. Look at how we get that nice frilly look for the cape. Looks absolutely amazing. Complements the figure and the paint apps so well. Love it. Just absolutely love it. Everything about the figure in terms of the paint apps and the design. Pinless technology! Oh yeah, just great stuff. And the articulation's not bad either. So her head's kind of on like one of those double joints. So you can get her to look, you know, have her almost completely touch her chest there. And then even though she has the long hair, you kind of utilize it, and you can still get her to look somewhat up. I mean, I know characters with long hair, it gets to be a pain in the butt, but you play with it a little bit, and you can at least get that. And then speaking of to help with that, she does crunch up here at the solar plex, so when you get her to fly, it's not going to look too bad. She can look down that much. Spin, spin, burp. Head go that way, head go that way, get a nice play like that, so that's always awesome. And because this is a cloth cape, and let me also remind you guys that when you're messing with your figures, warm them up. Because if you try to do this right out of the box, that's more than likely going to snap or it's not going to move. So with that frilly cloth cape, you can move the arms around pretty well. Just got to be careful, and then again, you can always adjust it here as it spins around the wrist. Double jointed elbows, whoop whoop. Wrists spin. Wrist go up. Wrist go down. Legs go apart that much. Leg kick out. But unlike McFarlane, 2022, we're still having to deal with that butt flap. Misa hate the butt flap. It frosts my butt flap just to see that you cannot bring that leg back 90 degrees. Really frustrating there. Upper thigh cut. Double jointed knees. Foot go up, foot go down. Foot go rock, rock, rock all around town. Haha. And then she also, of course, has the upper bicep swivel. So as you can see, paint apps, articulation. This character has a lot to offer other than the lack of that flippin' extra screaming head sculpt. But nonetheless, I'm loving what I've been able to do with this figure thus far. Now for a quick comparison, here's Siryn next to her fellow teammates. This is the Hasbro Pulse X-Force 3-pack that had Richter, Domino, and Cannonball in it. The reason, other than being teammates, that I wanted to point out is with Siryn, this is a new wave that's coming out and will eventually you'll be able to get in stores, in which you can currently get it online. This 3-pack at the time of this recording, has sold out, I believe, twice on Hasbro's website. I had to go to the secondary market to finally get my hands on it. Wasn't super cheap, but I'm glad to have it. But what I'm getting at here, new wave, double jointed, nice work, domino. Pins on an exclusive. Come on. I don't get it. You would think that something that would be an online exclusive, that they would have pulled out all the stops. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the set. Pins. No pins. It just baffles me. But anyway, I'm going to let it go because I love all four of these figures. But I just wanted to show that they have this pinless stuff that they're doing, and they're still utilizing this. Why? More than likely to cover costs, I get, but come on, it looks so much better. That's my little rant. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think of all four of these figures now that we're kind of starting to get a really fully complete X-Force set. I absolutely love this figure. I'm thankful to finally have a Siryn in my collection to both finish off X-Factor and X-Force. It's beautifully done. I'm glad that they utilized, finally, the pinless technology. It just makes the figure overall look better without seeing all those little holes throughout the body. And they gave her double jointed joints. And so it makes for a much better experience with this figure. If I have to really nitpick and complain, my biggest one, and I'm sure other people have said this, is the lack of an extra head sculpt to make her look like she's screaming. Because when you get her in front of the camera for photography reasons and you want to make it look like she's screaming, you're not going to have that option now. And it's just like, come on, what were you thinking? Now, maybe we may get lucky and they might release a screaming head later down the road, because there's times where they'll release a figure and they'll have extra accessories for stuff that's come out. But in the meantime, having to wait, you have to get creative. And it's like, it's cool, and also at the same time, it's like, damn it. You know what I mean? The only other thing that kind of bugs, but it's not that big of a deal, is the fact that the cape is affixed into her arms and on her back. Thinking about it, if it wasn't like that, then we wouldn't get this nice frilly effect with the cloth cape, which, you know, having that cloth cape is 100% better than all those rompy plastic ones. But the lack of that extra head sculpt is my biggest gripe about this figure. Other than that, this Siryn is beautiful. The head that we do get is actually really awesome. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please, first and foremost, support your local comic shop and see if they've got this wave in stock. If not, at the time of this recording, she is available on Big Bad Toy Store and Dorkside Toys. If you guys have enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little X bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, photo slideshow coming up next. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.